look away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech, on the disrespect. Before they play, you better button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day, a beautiful week of checking these buttons. Thank you guys for tuning in one more time. Chapters down below if you want to skip around. Sub button right there. Always appreciate the love for you guys taking the time to help the channel grow. We got some hot ones, y'all. I was almost thinking about going twice today because we got so much to talk about, but we'll see. Either it's going to be twice today or this one and then tomorrow morning as well. So either way, let's unpack these buttons without further ado. Let's go. All right, now into the first set of the biggest Virtua Fighter tournament ever. Online, maybe even offline buttons that need to be checked. So this one was actually, I think it just wrapped up yesterday, and it was brought to us by Tong Never Sleeps, or from Tampa Never Sleeps. Really cool dude, definitely check them out. All their links down below, and it was hosted by Maximilian. So we're gonna unpack this real quick. By the way, links down below if you wanna see the full tournament action. We're just gonna do the grand final highlights. So right here, Maximilian posted this saying, just hosted the biggest online Virtua Fighter tournament of all time for 16,000 plus viewers in grand finals. Thank you to the VF community for showing up, tagging Tampa, for running an immaculate show, and tagging Sega for all the official support / sponsorship. We are out here. Then if we continue to Tong, right here posting this saying, all credit goes to Maximilian, and also tagging Sega and the entire Virtua Fighter community for this incredible milestone. Special thanks, tagging these two people right here, and then also saying the VF community for all their efforts. Tonight is going to be special, and this one obviously was posted, I guess, right before it started. Let's check out a clip.
Like it.
Oh, evades the low.
He let that rip.
Good
Nice,
step.
gets the knockdown. Tries to go for the pressure for himself. It doesn't work out. 660. Oh,
Uppercut.
He goes for the uppercut.
And just like that, we're back to potentially the last round Hemajon needs.
Round 3. Ready?
The Gentleman Thief not out yet.
Yeah.
It is insane to see. Well, I'll save my thoughts.
If I see the knee, I'm gonna lose
I'll save
it.
my thoughts.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, he missed
Doesn't
it.
confirm it.
Oh,
Well,
they both making the hard reads. Oh.
good block. Fuzzy.
Winning the first ever TNS Maximilian Sega Virtua Fighter Lives.
Jesus, dude. Dude is too good.
TNS Maximilian.
The dude is
Sega
way too good.
Virtua Fighter Lives.
He won the set. He won 2 big-ass Virtua Fighter tournaments in a row. He just won Frosty, and then he won this. We did it, chat. We did it. And hey, we broke 15K. Between Twitch and YouTube, we're past 15,000 viewers just on my end, you know? So it's got to be like 16, 16.5 all over the place. God damn, dude.
And a title.
God damn.
Yeah, absolutely. Hemajon, of course, getting the lion's share of the match,
Wow.
but also getting the VF.
That was
title
great. That was
and
so
the
fast.
exclusive,
Those characters, those
beautiful
dudes were playing that
Combo
game
Obsidian 2 fights
blindingly
with the
quick. There's
Virtua
no, how do you even
Fighter
commentate that, dude?
sign. He's also
Like, I
gonna
don't
be
even
getting
know.
a
I
t-shirt.
feel
He's gonna
bad
be
for
getting a
Virtua Fighter
the vinyl
commentators
set
because it's like, how do you keep up with what's
The
happening?
figure
It's so hard.
of the Akira.
All right, so there you have it. Looks like the first prize was this cool stick, Virtua Fighter stick. I think it was autographed as well. And then they said $1,000 prize pool bonus provided by Maximilian. So that's what's up, man. We're gonna end it right here with Tampa Never Sleeps. Now, like I said, I'm gonna put their links down below so you can check that out. What I was gonna say during the during grand finals is like, I don't know if Virtua Fighter or this tournament gets this much attention without Tekken 8 currently going through what it's going through now. Because it almost seems like, for lack of a better term, what are the people saying online, right? What is FGC saying? They're saying refugees, right? There's so many refugees wandering on about playing new games or old versions of Tekken and then trying games. Fuck, even some Tekken players trying Street Fighter 6, right? Kind of just wandering out in the world trying to find themselves right now. So I don't know. I think that obviously may have helped the numbers here for this Virtua Fighter tournament because they're like, yo, what else are we gonna do if we're unhappy with Tekken 8? Now, like I said, that's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that. Maybe this tournament still gets 16,000 plus views for grand finals if Tekken 8 was in a good state. I don't know. All I'm saying is I don't think it hurts that there's so many people wandering away from Tekken 8 for this to kind of take off the way that it did. But I know Tampa and Maximilian obviously doing their damn thing. Tampa also has a new thing coming up right here saying, here's a sneak peek at what's coming next week on TNS Online. We'll be hosting 2 of our 2XKO brackets for Alpha Lab 2. You got 2v2s, you see that April 19th, and the 1v1s April 20th next week. You see the screenshot here with the time 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, like I said, I'll put the information down below. So definitely check that out. How y'all feeling? Let me know. All right, next up for them controversial Tekken community turning on themselves, apparently. Buttons that need to be checked. So you already know there is a lot going on in this community. Last we talked about, I think people feeling some type of way that the devs seem to be radio silent up to this point. But others took it at the, from the point of view that like, well, they said what they had to say, and maybe now they're just doing what they're supposed to do and fixing the game with this emergency patch. So they're kind of just waiting to be like, yo, we got some work to do. We ain't gonna say shit. Even if we do, we're gonna catch, basically shots back. So maybe we'll just keep quiet at this point because they've received a lot. I mean, I saw even like videos made of Michael Murray where he was kind of going at it, like responding to people. Then he started blocking a lot of people. And then they made even more videos about him like, yo, what kind of bullshit customer service, for lack of a better term, right, from the devs is this? Like, instead of listening to us, you're only picking and choosing which comments you want, and then you're blocking people. That's not gonna work. So a lot of people took that as kind of like disrespect from Michael Murray. But like I said, there's always two sides of the fence. Other people were like, yo, he's trying his best and they could only do what they could do at the moment. So yeah, anyway, I only say that to say there is a lot going on right now. But another thing that just seemed to unfolded within the last few days or in the last week, especially popping off, I would see here on social media within the last 48 hours, is some of the big content creators in the Tekken community are catching a lot of shit. To the point where they're starting to delete videos or block people or just really express concern because they're receiving threats. But apparently even PhiDX is catching some shit. I don't know if you're familiar, I would imagine if you're watching this video that you're familiar with what he does. From my understanding, he's always just done like really great content breakdown, analysis, and commentating, and been in the scene for a long time. Well, apparently, he's been very vocal, as he always is, with this latest patch in Season 2, on both sides of the fence. I seen him saying where, he posted one the other day talking about, this is not for me, I need this or want this, and this to change, and I agree with the community in this sense, but at the same time, he's also keeping a positive mind, having high hopes that things are going to change. Well, I guess some people felt some type of way about that and actually blaming him for the condition of the game. And there's other content creators that are about to come into this conversation as well. But PhiDX posted this, man, I think it was just 2 days ago, saying, should I be worried about being prepared at any FGC events I go to? Right here, you can see the screenshot, I guess somebody responding to him. I'm not sure if it was taken right underneath his YouTube video or if they DM'd him directly, but it says, I never would have thought Frame would have forgiven you, but I hope you know there's a part of the community that never will so long as you don't formally apologize and take accountability for what you've contributed to. Until you do, you better be prepared at any FGC event you go to. This game that has many diehard fans who are passionate and obsessive levels, stronger than the love and the passion, the stronger in potential hate. And ultimately, the devs were the one that pulled the trigger in the most diabolical way to ruin a series that spanned 30 years due to incompetence. It was the enablism by a few key figures that allowed this rot to fester more easily. Could have stayed at least more neutral, like Mrs. Play Stuff or Mirio, if I'm saying that correctly, instead of actively running to cover like TMM. Either way, this is the end of Tekken for many legacy players. They won't be returning. I'll personally touch grass, or I'll be personally touching grass for a while, then move on. I had aspirations for this game, but it's in the ditch now. The trust and good will be gone. Those who remain or return, you have to answer to them, because as much as I can sympathize or even understand why you did what you did with good intention, I know I won't ever forgive you for the role you played. I love this game. It's over now. Then I see PhiDX responding to that saying, by the way, if you see this and hate me, I have no problem apologizing. I just don't know what I should be apologizing for. Every piece of criticism I have given the game has been ignored. From there, I see Spag. This one was actually posted a few days before PhiDX. Remember we talked about Spag the other day. We covered one of his heat checks and he was talking about, he caught a lot of shit. So he was like, this might be the last heat check. Well, I noticed when he posted it on Twitter or X, he was like, this is the last one, enjoy it. So I'm very curious to see if that's gonna be it, because he was catching a lot of shit as well as one of the big names, or I should say big content creators in the Tekken community. He posted this right here saying, it's never so serious to send racist abuse and personal attacks because I had an opinion on the online list. Even forgetting about me, but attacks on others who share a different opinion has been crazy. I've been around for a very long time and been involved for over a decade to help develop our competitive scene since Tag 2, and I've never seen the community get to this point, creating your own image of people and attacking them. Okay, so far we have PhiDX being blamed. Then we got Spag, you know, catching shit as well. Then we got none other than Core A Gaming being blamed in a big way for an analysis video he made 8 years ago. And it was titled Buffs Over Nerfs. We'll talk about this because Maximilian actually reacts to all of this. But before we get into that whole thing, we're gonna get a reaction real quick from TheMainManSWE. He posted this just like 6 hours ago by the time I'm recording this today, which is Monday. This video we're about to watch is over 15 minutes long, or just about. We're only gonna watch a couple of minutes, so I'll put the link down below so you can check the whole thing out for yourself. But yeah, apparently Phidi posted another screenshot of something coming at him again, just as hard or even harder. Let's check it out.
This shill deserves all the threats that he's getting. I was upset with your takes, PhiDX, because of the influence it had when we were at a tipping point in the game's development, but Tekken 8 is dead to me. I'm a Virtua Fighter player now, and so are a majority of the legacy players in my scene. Breakups over, reap what you sow. You'll get what you fucking deserve. Okay, so here we have the Joker as well. Does absolutely not sound like a fucking lunatic, psychopath. You ruined this game, and you doubling down only makes it worse. I'm just wondering here, like, in the minds of these people, what power does PhiDX wield? If we just take a second and look at this, like, objectively with some common sense, you know, level-headed, is PhiDX a developer? Does PhiDX have gigantic influence on what this huge corporation does with their game? PhiDX is a streamer and YouTuber. I'm pretty sure he's not responsible for season 2 of Tekken 8, but that's just my gut feeling, right? But also, like, these accusations of, like, his toxic positivity and shilling. Like, I'm not gonna get into this whole, like, he's being paid to lie about the game, because that's just, to me, like an absurd conspiracy theory that can only come from people who are mentally unwell, in my opinion. People who they live their lives online, they're very isolated from main society, they have high degrees of general anxiety, they're in a very bad mental headspace, and this can lead to paranoia and a distrust of everything and reactions like this. They're also very vulnerable to hate campaigns and conspiracy theories. The way I've always seen PhiDX's content, and I've watched some, is that I've never seen this, like, toxic positivity. All I've seen is, you know, a long time ago he made a video where he said that heat can get very overwhelming in Tekken 8. So in my opinion, I'm PhiDX, I think that Lee's heat, who we all know is very weak, it's not very potent, that should serve as the blueprint and role model for the other heats in the game. So all these characters who have super overwhelming heat, like Kuma and Kazuya, for example, Xiaoyu, maybe they should come down to resemble more what Lee does in heat. Isn't that a perfectly fair statement? Extremely level-headed, and sort of something we can all agree with. But how is that shilling or like toxic positivity? And in fact, with season 2, when the developers say, oh, all of those lows now that used to be heat smashes, they are normal heat moves now. So you get more 50-50 mix-ups. Isn't that the complete opposite of what PhiDX asked for?
Now, Max just posted this 7 hours ago by the time I'm recording this. Once again, today, Monday, April 14th. People were blaming, I've seen this, y'all, like a couple of weeks ago. They started posting Core Gaming's screen or thumbnail around, I guess, buffs over nerfs, and saying that this was so misinterpreted that they took this video and ran with it. I guess the devs, because Core Gaming is not a dev, you know what I'm saying? It has no affiliation with Tekken when it comes to making changes or telling them what and what not to put in the game. He's a content creator on YouTube, just started dabbling in commentary over the last few years. But people took that video because his videos have always been very high profile, very well respected in the community. Man, ever since he's been on the scene, he's been one of those content creators who's just been top notch, right? Just adored in a way as when it comes to knowledge and presentation. So I guess that might be some of the reason why people are like looking at him like he must have some great ass influence. But either way, before we get into all of that, let's watch Maximilian's opinion. And once again, I'm gonna put Max's link down below so you can catch his full video. Max's video is almost 30 minutes long, so definitely check it out. We're gonna get, once again, just a couple of minutes. Let's go.
This video has done irreparable damage to fighting games. This caused the Tekken 8 patch. This caused the Dragon Ball patch. It's like, whoa, okay. I remember that video and it being a pretty nuanced take on balancing and overall like buffs and nerfs. What I want to do, and just to give them the benefit of the doubt, what if we watch it? What if we don't just look at the title and pull a conclusion? Why we should buff more often than nerf. Okay. And I remember this being kind of like an interesting take, but I haven't watched this on stream with anybody like ever. So, and it's been legit almost like 8-9 years since I've watched it. Let's just give Core A Gaming the benefit of the doubt. Let's just watch this take, because this is now the video that everybody is going to is the reason why fighting games are in the rough ass state. And I'm like, oh, how about let's just go take a look and figure it out.
Everyone. The man possible because there was no shot clock at the time, and as you might have
and so they introduced the shot clock. Yep.
Yes, this is why they made one. In the end, the goal.
There was no shot clock, so there was no 24-second possession. They just timer scammed the shit out of the whole. If we can't beat this guy, let's beat him whatever way we can.
Goaltending rule nerfed Mikan, but the shot clock rule actually buffed him by making the teams have to deal with him.
Oh, damn. Interesting. Basketball balance is probably the video that I want to see more than anything right now.
Why would they make a rule that benefits Mikan? Because the ultimate goal of nerfing and buffing isn't to balance, but to make a game that's fun to play and watch.
So, since the history of this video being made, this is 2017, right? The obvious esportsification, he's not wrong. But I think as time has passed since the video, I think the way devs approach the balance of characters is absolutely more considerate nowadays, maybe than it was back in the mid 2010s-ish. Nowadays, I think they take a pretty deep look at some of this stuff. And yeah, for sure, they definitely take a big consideration of what's the most fun. We need to make our game a video game that is actually fun to play. They lean a bit more also into the competitive standard, the competitive aspect. In fact, it sort of bugs me when that's the case with some games and it's very obvious that they're not willing to take changes. The balance of a game isn't necessarily what makes it great. And I've always used this example. You know immediately the kind of person you're talking to if they're asking about fighting games and they come up to you and the person is like, hey, I'm really interested in this game. How balanced is it? You know what that tells me about that person? And I won't like say this to their face, but if somebody comes up, they ask you specifically, hey, I've been looking at this game. I wonder how balanced it is. I know that they are a super casual player. If their impression of what makes a quality game is that's balance, then I know that they actually don't have a lot of experience like playing those games at a relatively middle to high level. They're in it for what they perceive to be a thing that is like the bastion, which is like fighting games are only good because they're balanced, right? And it's like, no, fighting games are almost inherently unbalanced, right? They're almost designed to be unbalanced, that some characters will severely lose to others. So when they win, it's exciting. I'm just going to say, I think there's some pretty interesting takes in here. Balance is not a one-trick pony situation to all fighting games in general. It's not. But approaching a fighting game and realizing what makes the top tier characters fun, should everybody have access to that? That's like the situation where the top tiers are up here and everybody else is down here, and you just go up all the way more, right? And now the top is way up here. That's what Tekken 8 did. When I was using the example, tops are up here, everybody else is down here. You do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. The power level of the game goes down a little bit. but you give them new moves, you give them new abilities, like all that kind of shit. You think there's a road back for Tekken 8? I absolutely think there is, because it's only season 2. It might take a whole season for us to eventually get there, outside of like the really difficult and fucked up shit.
All right, so there you have it. Oh man, it's so much shit. Yeah, the community just seems like it's imploding, right? Still waiting for the emergency patches that's supposed to come out later this month. A lot of people saying they really don't believe it's going to be enough to fix the state of the game because there's too much shit going on right now. Max made the statement saying he believes there's still time because it's just season 2. Now, let's unpack this real quick when it comes to PhiDX, when it comes to Spag, when it comes to Core A gaming in general. Now, when it comes to PhiDX, like I said, I don't know the dude, never met him like that, but I have been a fan of his content. I did talk to him just like once or twice when it came to content, and that was it. But I gotta be honest, y'all. I gotta be transparent, because you know on this channel, that's what we do, and we always promote. It is okay to agree to disagree. If y'all disagree with me all the fucking time, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta be honest. I agree with what the main man was talking about. Like, I've never looked at PhiDX stuff like that. If PhiDX, if fucking PhiDX, who seems like one of the most like down-to-earth, analytical, just like quiet, respectful guys, you know what I'm saying? If he can get fucking threats, death threats and shit like this, there ain't no hope for none of us. Let's be real. There's no hope for none of us. If even this dude is getting some fucking threats, that is insane to me. Talking about you get what you deserve, watch your back, or when you go to tournaments, fucking insane, y'all. And then going to Spag, when they're saying the same thing, he's like, there's no need for these comments or death threats or race remarks. I'm just being honest, and not even about me too, with others. Like, I've never seen the community get like this. On one hand, I mean, it goes to show how passionate people are for their game in a certain community, because they're like, yo, we don't understand it, we hate this, it feels awful. It almost feels like the game that we love was just ripped from us and we can't make sense of it. So now we have to try to make sense of it, and we're going throughout the devs, Michael Murray's, if you will, even some people at Harada. Now they're going at the big content creators, maybe the big players as well. Like, who's making these fucking remarks? Who's giving this impression to the devs for this shit to change? And they target PhiDX in one sense, because PhiDX has always been positive. But like I said, the videos that I've seen, and I can only speak from the ones that I've saw, he is a positive guy. He's always like looking for the best perspective as far as like, I'm hopeful, glass half full. But at the same time, I've seen him being critical. I've seen him be like, I don't like this, I think this is whack, I think they should change it. And like he said in his statement, none of my fucking critiques for the game to change they've all been ignored. They've all been ignored. It's only like people are focusing on the times where I'm being positive. And then when you go to Spag, I gotta be honest, I saw the same shit from him. I saw him talk shit about Tekken 8. I saw him like, this needs to be changed, this is ridiculous. But it does seem like people are focusing on his positive outlook. Like, anytime somebody has a positive outlook or being like hopeful, or maybe they consider it too hopeful, they're like, fuck you, you need to shut up, you need to join us, you need to sign this petition, right? We're gonna boycott it together kind of attitude. And obviously that's not for everybody. I hate to put everybody in a box, because that's not the whole community. It's just what we're seeing, right? To the point where people are taking the same attitude to a fucking video that is 8 years old with Core A Gaming, saying this is the video. This had to be it. It has millions of views. And he's highly respected. The devs must have misinterpreted, and I've seen this shit on Twitter, they must have misinterpreted this video, and it's to blame. That, once again, I gotta be transparent, and I know maybe now I'm the mark for being positive, right? But I gotta say, that's a fucking stretch if I've ever seen one. Holy shit. I'm gonna pull a damn muscle making that stretch, you know what I'm saying? Like, that video is so fucking old. You would have think it would have happened a long time ago if the devs were actually listening to Core A Gaming in that video. And I also remember the FGC was in a spot around that time where a lot of people have been preaching for years, talking about buffs over nerfs. I've seen that for fucking years on social media, where people are like, fuck these nerfs, I hate when they do that, it makes the game boring. Buffs over nerfs, always. Buffs over nerfs. And this is the last thing I'll say. I've been transparent on the other two when it comes to PhiDX, when it comes to Spag, and I'm gonna be transparent when it comes to Core A Gaming, because I've always been transparent when it comes to that dude. I love Core A Gaming. I know Core A Gaming. I consider him my friend. I've had him over for dinner. I've met his wife. He's met my wife. We've done I want to say 2 videos together. Since the beginning of my channel, before Button Check, this dude has always been amazing to me. Always been. So I got to know him personally. So yes, in this regard, I could sound biased because you could look at me and say, well, Ernesto, you're just saying that because he's your friend. And I understand. I want to be completely transparent. I completely understand if you take that point of view. Absolutely, 100%. But I got to be real for me. I know where his heart is. I've met the fucking guy. Like I said, I broke bread with him, hung out with him a lot of times. He's one of those homies, like if he ever were to fuck up, I could check him and be like, yo, what the fuck? You fucked up. And then we can get past it because he's that cool. And then he could do the same to me. Matter of fact, he probably has done the same to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what the fuck is this? We talk about it, we get better, and we move on. And I'm only saying that to show you like how real I feel with this dude. I'm not saying that he fucked up in this case. I'm not saying that at all. If anything, complete opposite that I feel in this situation. I just feel, man, Main Man went on to say that he believes that people that take this attitude have some kind of mental issue. And I don't think he said that, right? He didn't say that in a sense to where it was like people that are criticizing the game or even people that are signing the boycott of the game have mental issues. He was talking about more so with the people that are making these threats, right? Pointing out a single individual saying it's all because of you, you're to blame, you better watch your back. That's what he was saying. How do y'all feel about that point? Do you think that somebody that can take it that far is not playing with a full deck of cards, you know what I'm saying? Or do you think they're just really passionate about the fucking game? I think it's just one of those things, you know, that could be the case, but I also think it's one of those things, like I was talking about earlier, where they feel like this game, this beautiful thing that they've loved for so many years was fucking ripped from them, and they're looking to figure it out. Whether it's a dev, a content creator, or a top player, they really feel like they need to blame somebody. I've even seen other content creators, because of all of the shit that season 2 is catching right now, blame other content creators. And they're like, yo, I know it deserves this and that type of attention, but because you guys are glazing the negativity or just focusing on that, it's actually stirring the pot more, so it's causing even more tension and possibly threats to happen. What do y'all think about that, man? There's a lot. It's a lot. The sad part is I know at the end of the day, it's just a fucking video game. Now, granted, it's a big part of look at my fucking wall. Hell, look at my channel. I do this for a living, y'all. I know when I say it's just a game, I don't mean that in disrespect. I don't mean that, because I know a lot of people, when they say that shit, they mean that as disrespectful. I don't, obviously, because I'm life. I am FGC for life. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know I'm down with it. So when I say that, I mean, it should never get to the level of threats, of death threats, of hating people. Unfortunately, though, we see that all the time in the FGC, especially on social media. The shit gets crazy sometimes. That's why I'm like, yo, it is scary. It can get scary because these threats, although we like to say, oh, it's just losers or keyboard warriors, they never go to tournaments anyway, it's still scary because you never know. You fucking never know. And being a content creator myself, and I've dealt with that myself, it never makes you feel good. It makes you second think some shit. You know what I'm saying? So either way, a lot going on. How y'all feeling? Let me know. That it is, ladies and gents. Definitely let me know how you were feeling. Thank you guys for the amazing love. We got a full week. This was a whopper. Y'all, do you realize I missed yesterday? For the first time in like a month and a half, I missed a day. And it felt weird, y'all. Don't get me wrong. It felt good because I needed the rest. But it felt very weird. Just like, damn, I'm really not posting today. Anyway, we're back. We're here. It's only been 24 hours, but I'm definitely posting tomorrow. I already got a video lined up for that HT. Hope you guys appreciate it. We got some sponsors coming this week. And one more time, if you guys rock with the sponsors, the Patreon, either way, y'all, it means the world and it helps us just keep this ball rolling. So appreciate the mad love. We will see you soon as always. I don't know what it is, but I know it's about to get better. Love y'all, fella. Peace. Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
You don't think I get it after what I've seen out there? You don't think I wish I could tell you that it was one bad guy to blame? It's not. We're all to blame. I'm not. But maybe I am. Please, if you believe that this war should stop, if you want to stop it, help me stop it right now.